Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Illusion Fox Gaming. We're going to be going back and delving into the MSQ here again. Just got to make my way back to where it starts. Aaronville looks upon Yasulani in disbelief. It doesn't make sense. That tower, was it always there? No, definitely not. Nor the wall over there. The material's not something we use in Tyrell. It's close to what we saw at the gate to the Golden City, or those mechanical soldiers. Such a massive structure couldn't possibly have been built in so short a time. Then I'm inclined to assume we've been transported to another location, or perhaps... Well, speculation will avail us not. We need to learn more before we can draw conclusions. Let's take a look around then. Scut around on the crab here. That looks like a train station, doesn't it? That must be Ocelani Station, where the passengers disembarked. And perhaps we'll find someone to talk to there. Let's go and investigate. Just because I'm right here and is just about dead. Oh, Fuck, I forgot I finished Samurai. So why did I switch to Samurai? I was supposed to switch to Reaper. That was dumb of me. Waste of experience. I'm pretty sure this is Yasulani Station, but from the statement, I swear it was abandoned years ago. I'm not sure what to make of this. We should look around a bit more. It's almost like it's some sort of temporal distortion field. I mean, that could certainly explain the drastic increase in technology. Finished poking around, have you? Let's gather everyone, then I want you all to take a look at this. It's one of the mechanical soldiers, long since broken, apparently. But say, its presence confirms this is indeed Zerul Jaw's domain we're in. What about the rest of you? Did you learn anything? So, all evidence suggests this is Yasulani Station. I have no doubt we're in Yasulani, but I don't understand why these buildings are so run down. They were completed barely a year ago. For new structures to deteriorate and enormous ones to appear in a flash, if I didn't know better, I'd say time flows differently here. Is such a thing even possible? Is it possible? Yes, but we've got this phenomenon before us, as it so seems. That may be difficult to believe. Our world is but one of several. In some respects, they are similar to one another, but in others, wholly different. We call them reflections. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. While hours pass in one, years may have come and gone in another. Simply put, the rift between dimensions causes time to flow at a different pace in each world. I read that. Well, this is Yasulani, then we should still be in the source. The flow of time should be synchronized. I'm not sure I follow all the talk of reflections and dimensions. If Aaronville says this is Yasulani, then it must be. Your village is a little further along, right? Aaronville. Oh. Yes, it's a short distance to the northwest. Let's head there next, then. Rather than talk theory, it's always better to confirm things firsthand. May I be of assistance? It's still functioning? It doesn't seem to be hostile, at least. Perhaps we can ask it some questions? Can you tell us where we are? Unable to confirm credentials, please present citizen identification. Unable to confirm credentials. Confirm. Confirm. Seems it's broken after all. Too strange by half. Let's leave it be and get going. Are those lightning rods? Would you accompany me for a moment? There's something I wish to investigate. Look there. The lightning appears to be drawn to those pole-shaped structures over yonder. The design suggests there's some manner of lightning rod. Let's go and take a closer look. This material appears the same as that used in the mechanical soldiers and warships. On closer inspection, it appears to bear fine etchings, rather reminiscent of arcane runes. These, I suspect, they're not merely decorative. I posit it's used to harness lightning as a source of energy. Quite impressive technology. I'll share this observation with Shatola for a blessing. The dome doesn't appear to interfere with link pearls. Thanks for coming. Let's head to the village and find the others. Actually. What in the world?
My home. It's in ruins. But why? What happened here? And where is everyone?
I had a look in a few of the other houses, but they had clearly been abandoned.
Damn it all. None of this makes sense.
Excuse me? Are you looking for someone? I apologize for giving you a fright. However, I did have reason to keep to the shadows.
I mean, we did blow up a big hole in your wall.
Sorolja has told me a great deal about you.
Sorolja?
Greetings, and welcome to the realm of Alexandria. I am Sphene, the Queen of Reason.
Hmm?
Queen of Reason?
If you are the Queen of Reason, is there perhaps a...
Yes, if you mean to ask if there is a King of Resolve. Sorolja holds that title, and together do we reign.
Then you are both behind the attack on Tuliyollal.
And I doubt you're here to offer us a warm reception. No, you have it all wrong. I am not come to fight. Sorolja rules alongside me, but that is a matter of expedience. In truth, we are at odds, he and I. It is at considerable risk to myself and my people that I come before you to beg your aid.
Our aid? I'll admit I cannot imagine King Sorolja is keen to share and share alike. But if what you say is true, you're still the Queen.
Indeed. But I was once the sole ruler of Alexandria. Until one day, he appeared, bent on conquest. In my weakness, I feared his power. So I persuaded him to forego violence and strike a bargain. I would remain queen, and he would receive technology that would empower him to achieve even loftier ambitions, along with the knowledge to use it. A gamble, to be sure, but if it might spare my people... If I may, the dome surrounding these lands was erected but recently. How is it he was able to not only invade, but instate a new system of leadership in a mere matter of days?
I've never heard of your realm. And this place is, or at least was, Yasolani. The house I grew up in is still here. But 3 years ago, that tower and these strange contrivances weren't. Nor was our village in ruins. Where did you come from? And what happened to the people who lived here? You must know.
I realize how confusing this all must be. Truth be told, I don't fully understand it myself. What I can say is that one day, people from your Tuliyollal suddenly appeared here in Alexandria. Or perhaps it was we who found ourselves in Tuliyollal. Until but recently, we were completely unaware of events taking place beyond the barrier surrounding our realm.
Does this not remind you of the Crystal Tower? How after the 8th Umbral Calamity, we devised a means to transport the Spire across time and space from the source unto the First. Granted, this is on a much larger scale, if that is indeed what has happened. Not only the people and structures, but also the surrounding environment. Regardless, the people of Lakeland perceived the arrival of the Crystal Tower much as the Queen describes her own experience. Sudden, and inexplicable.
Well then, you appear to have a better grasp of our circumstances than we do. Indeed, more than I dared hope. In which case, a closer examination of the effects of this phenomenon may afford us more insights. Allow me to take you to the outskirts. A number of the Chitona live there as well. Perhaps your acquaintances are among them.
Hold on. If we accept, there's no guarantee we're not walking into a trap.
But if we're to defeat Zorolja, we need to understand how he grew so strong. Besides...
Ah, you're right.
Queen Sphene, before we go, Your Majesty, I have to ask, did you really have nothing to do with the attack on Tulihyolol?
Noble Wook Lamart, shall we dispense with the formalities? I'll not deny the soldiers and airships that attacked your people are products of Alexandria. But it was Zorolja, not we, who fashioned them into weapons of war and laid siege to Tuliolol.
So he alone is to blame.
No, I may not have prosecuted this war, but I nevertheless bear responsibility for it.
Perhaps. I know next to nothing about you, let alone what you've been through. So by all means, show us around. I think we'll learn a lot from meeting your people.
Wonderful! If you would follow me. Is that concern or suspicion?
Bit of both.
If things should take a turn for the worse, might I call upon your aid? I jest, of course, but you do strike me as the most capable here.
I think it goes without saying, but we're not going to trust her just like that, right? Any way you look at it, a mysterious girl who appears out of nowhere proclaiming herself a queen is suspicious. Alice is inclined to keep a close eye on the queen. Well, having established that we should be wary, we could use more information. So let's head to this place, the outskirts, and see what we can learn. Perhaps about Sphene as well. I trust you have similar farming facilities in Toral? They're completely different from ours. I've got no idea what all those machines do. We settled on this approach after some trial and error. The Torelli have their own methods of farming which they want to continue employing. But the environment makes it challenging. There's too much rain and not enough light. Thankfully, the use of electrode has allowed us to fortify the buildings here, as well as provide what nature cannot. Electro what? Electro, it's a material we use for myriad devices and applications. Talk for another time. Perhaps if you would follow me, we're nearly to the outskirts.
Here we are. Though you'll doubtless find much of what you see in Alexandria strange, the traditional agriculture practiced in this village at least should be familiar.
Queen's Fiend? What business brings her here, I wonder?
The Queen has come!
You look well, Paquine. And Catogne, I see you've already taken to your new position.
When she introduced herself as Queen, I was expecting someone colder. Honestly, she reminds me of you, Lamachi.
Me?
It's only natural for a ruler to love her people.
Zoralja
And
does
I
not
should
love
like
his
to know
people.
them as best I can, even the most trifling details.
The more you come to know them, the more you grow to love them. Who they are and what they've built.
That's it. Beautifully put. And it would appear that she is well loved in turn.
Your Majesty, you honor us with your presence. And who are these fine people?
Tuliolol's vow of resolve Wuk-Lamat and her companions. They come from beyond the barrier, but you needn't worry. They are good people and are to be treated as my honored guests.
The rumors of a link to the outside are true, then. Wuk-Lamat is still so young. Where are my manners? I am Popone, a leader of sorts of the people living out here.
Papone? That is a Tonawautan ring to it.
Right you are. I take it you hail from this region as well? Teshpiani, perhaps?
Yes, I do. I don't suppose you know a woman by the name of Kafkiwa?
Kafkiwa. I'm afraid I'm not sure if I've ever met someone with that name.
Mother isn't here. But it's a relief to know at least some of the people of Yasulani are alive and well.
Your mother, you say? Now that you mention it, I do see the resemblance.
You know my mother?
I do. Yes.
Then tell me, please, where is she?
I don't think we're gonna like the answer.
I cannot say. Not here, but I promise I will in due time.
I have a question, Pepone. Do you recall what happened the day the dome first appeared?
The barrier? Well, I remember fixing a shelf that had collapsed after a terrible earthquake. Then the ground began to tremble. There was a brilliant flash of light, and then... Forgive me, my recollection of it all is rather poor.
You needn't push yourself, Pepone. After 30 years, no one could blame you for not remembering.
30 years?
30 years? As in 30 years in the past?
Absurd though it may sound, there is no doubt in my mind the events that led to the joining of our lands occurred 30 years ago.
Well, for everyone else, it's been a day,
Which
two.
is not to say I understand why our perceptions of the intervening time are so radically different. We only just became aware of the discrepancy when Zoralja's military base was completed, and we were at last able to venture beyond the barrier.
I believed you long dead. To have the chance to kill you myself is an unforeseen blessing.
30 years. Little wonder Zoralja assumed our father had already passed away.
It's not unlike how time passes differently in the First and the Source. The fluctuating space of the rift between them disrupting temporal equivalence. Perhaps the same holds true here, and time flowed faster within the dome. I cannot say for certain, but I strongly suspect that to be the case. And based on the Queen's account, this encampment may have come to serve as a physical bridge between the two planes, after which the dome was forced into the Source's temporal flow.
If we're to be certain of anything, we need more information. Sphene, would it be all right if we had a look around and spoke with the townspeople?
By all means.
Time to see what we can see of Alexandria, then.
And its people. I may yet find familiar faces among the survivors from Yasulani.
Even if I don't understand the half of it, I would learn more of this place before we confront Zoralja.
Perhaps you'd care to see how we make our living. Though we have always prided ourselves on the use of traditional Tonawatan farming methods, the use of electro-fueled technologies has led to countless agricultural innovations.
I would join you as well.
Ma'am, please, you needn't trouble yourself.
It's no trouble at all. And I promise not to cause any manner of distraction.
Reassuring words, or they would be had I not heard them countless times before. Very well, but do be careful.
Of course. I shall proceed with the utmost care. Now then, if you two would follow me, we can begin the tour.
I can't say that I trust her yet, but I trust that her affection for these people is genuine. And that's enough for me.
Electra's done much to improve the efficacy of their farming, but hasn't replaced everything. They want to preserve their old way of life, and you do not want to force ours upon them. You went to such lengths so that our cultures could coexist, even going so far as to learn our tongue. I'm sure everyone appreciated that. Communication was thankfully not an issue for the Turali tongue, surprisingly similar to Alexandrian. Of course, there are words and phrases which there is no equivalent, but those can be taught with minimal effort. Through mutual respect, understanding, and patience, we Alexandrians and Turali have learned a great deal from one another. I'm sure there is much you wish to learn as well, so please, if you have questions, do not hesitate to ask. Sphene is eager to show you around. Rather than bore you with lengthy explanations, let's head back to the farm where we passed earlier. Yuppie's Halo, it is called. We can speak with one of the farmers when we arrive. I guess we're off to Yuppie's Halo. All the various things in my inventory. Allow me to introduce you to Moussa, one of the most experienced farmhands in all of Alexandria. She's well versed in myriad farming techniques. Indeed, the wealth of knowledge she has shared with the other farmers is what has allowed this place to flourish. Queen Sphene, to what do I owe the sudden shower of praise? My apologies for the interruption. I am come with guests from beyond the barrier. They wish to learn more of Alexandria, and so I invited them to see how our crops are grown. I do hope that's all right. So the rumors of visitors from the outside were true. What manner of host would we be to deny them a look around? And I gather your majesty also intend to check on things here? You know me too well, Mohusa. I thought to seize this opportunity to see how the farmers fare and perhaps pepper them with a few questions. But I do so enjoy observing and taking part in the work, too. It appears we have her permission, so please, walk the grounds to your heart's content. Go on ahead, I'll keep Sveen company. Don't misunderstand, I'm not the most suspicious type, but given our positions, it would make sense for us to go around together, wouldn't you say? A fair point, but be sure not to let me out of your sight. I shall remain under Weklama's watchful eye. Pray, come find us after you've seen your fill and spoken with the other farmhands. So there's another reflection. What assholes behind trying to merge these two? Don't tell me some other Asian's shown up and is pulling this shit. They're saying that you and yours are visitors from beyond the barrier. Is that true? So it is, which means we're connected to the outside world again. Not that I have a desire to leave, mind you. I'm quite content with life here in Alexandria. Setting that aside, you're here to observe our work, right? As you see, I'm in charge of livestock. Here at Yuppie's Halo, we produce not only fruits and vegetables, but also meat, poultry, and eggs. Tending the animals is an absolute joy, but I have to be careful not to grow attached. It's always a little sad when they're shipped off, but a job is a job. Well, I need to get back to it, but it was nice talking to you. Please give my regards to the Queen. Oh, an unfamiliar face. I gather this is your first time on site, then? Well, this here's the storehouse, or rather the entrance. The real storehouse is underground, much more spacious and equipped with a temperature regulation system to keep the harvest from spoiling. Since the entrance is so small, it's much easier to prevent wild beasts from wandering inside, which also makes it a very viable facility for breeding and raising livestock. We've even got a few beds down there for emergencies. Parents often complain about how Alexandrian technology and electric complicate our lives. It's just a matter of learning how things work. Take my job, for instance. I'm presently overseeing the storage of harvested crops. They'll be taken up to the tower for processing, and from there find their way to every dining table in Alexandria. The work is hard, I'll not deny, but I take great satisfaction in what we do. Light levels appear to be fine. As for the power source... you wish to know about my job? I tend to the fields mostly, watering the crops, keeping the soil fertile, and so on. Admittedly, it took me some time until I fully understood how best to carry out my duties. I also manage the lamps we use in the fields. We do our best to keep everything up to code, but should they ever start to malfunction, it's up to me to fix them. The land and sky being what they are, ensuring a rich harvest makes for constant work. But honestly, I enjoy how involved the process is. Both my parents being Alexandrian, I didn't grow up knowing much of anything about farming. Every day is an opportunity to learn and grow. I see. Don't be too hard on yourself. Anyone would have been hard-pressed to deal with such a thing. Oh, I'm back. My apologies for failing to notice your return. I gather you've had your fill of speaking with the farmers? Then let's return to Mahusa. Well, what are your impressions of the farm? Oh, that's comforting to hear. Your words serve to affirm that my people do not work with undue strain. And what did you think of our little tour, Lamati? Oh, what did you call me? Was that inappropriate? My apologies. I heard the others call you by that name and I thought... No, it's fine. As you said before, we've no need for titles and formalities. As for my thoughts, I was very impressed that machines could be used to overcome so harsh an environment is amazing. I've never seen anything like it. Feeling is understandable indeed. Many still find the machinery behind me baffling. It's a system that controls the distribution of water for the fields and livestock. It's been acting up lately, though. Acting up, you say? You needn't worry, my queen. It happens fairly often, but put simply, it's taken in water that had a strong lightning charge. We think some creatures have become charged up with the energy and they're releasing it into the river we use as a source. The system will return to normal if the creatures are dealt with, but I'm reluctant to beg it of the army. We could take care of it if you'd like. That is most gracious of you to offer, but it is much too dangerous. Oh, it's no trouble for the vow of resolve of Tulialo. Regardless of what the relationship between our nations may develop, if there are people in need, I want to help. Simple as that. And they are even stronger than I am. It shouldn't take us long at all. Then very well, I will gratefully accept, but please take all care. This has got to go even faster if you and I search for lightning-charged fiends on our own. Good hunting. Ah, you're both alright, thank goodness. You really needn't have worried so much. We barely broke a sweat dealing with the fiends. They're all gone now. Of course, I swear you're my dear guests. Well, thank you, we truly appreciate this. Indeed, with this, we won't have to ask the Rojav's machines for help. He's making a concerted effort to bolster his forces, sparing but a fraction for the people's protection. Oh, that's because he's a dick. He thinks nothing of our safety, unlike Queen Sphene. That's enough, Mohosa. If you have grievances, I'll hear them later. But to speak of the king now. No, she's right. He's never been one to look after his people. Anyway, thanks for letting us tour the farm. The folk here are delightful, and it was a pleasure to meet them. You couldn't have favored us with more uplifting words. My people are my pride and joy. And you never failed to let us know, nor how much you care. Of course, you're my precious family, all of you. You seem a good sort, Sphene, that I'll admit. But you'll forgive me if I'm not ready to lower my guard for the enemy queen just yet. For you to be called that, I dread to imagine what villainy your majesty has committed. Come now, this is no laughing matter. A ruler is responsible for the welfare of countless lives, and one wrong decision can lead to untold suffering. Failure is unconscionable. Now, I believe we are done with the farm. Let's move on, shall we? Nope, I didn't recognize that was... There we go. Sphene would take you back to the outskirts. Perhaps we should head back to the outskirts. I dare say your friends will also have returned by now. Thanks again for dealing with the fiends. Come visit us anytime. Do you hear that?
What's happening over there?
I don't know, but we're gonna find out. My guess is nothing good.
It's nearly time.
I'm glad you could make it.
Are you with us?
Queen Sphene has come to see you.
here, Namika. Everything is going to be all right. What's the matter, dear?
It can't be. That's the bangle I gave to Namika.
You know her?
Of course I know her. She was like a mother to me.
I see. She was always willing to lend a kindly ear to others, but rarely did she ever speak of herself.
Is it really you?
She must have arrived shortly before the barrier manifested. For us, it was perhaps days, but for her...
Namika, it's me! Wuklamat!
I'm afraid her time with us is nearly at an end.
Has she no more soul cells?
She always used hers sparingly, but at her age, it wouldn't make a difference.
Ma'am, the ushers have arrived.
Soul cells. I'm guessing that's the thing on the side of the head.
Thank you, Namika, for your many years of friendship. Take comfort in the knowledge that this is not the end. Be not afraid. Your memory will live on in us.
living on in memory. The giants share a similar belief.
Wait, where are you taking her?
Worry not. She is being escorted to a medical facility in the tower. There we will ease her burden. I had hoped to make arrangements for her sooner, but she wished to remain here for as long as possible. I could not bring myself to refuse her.
Is there any way I might stay with her for a little while longer? We may not share the same blood, but she was my mother. Please.
Let us give them some time alone.
She didn't speak, but I'm grateful that I could be with her at the end. Thank you.
It's not the end.
Hmm?
Oh, nothing. I was just thinking that we have much to discuss. Where shall we begin?
With what we can be reasonably certain of, perhaps. Between what we have witnessed and the testimony of Alexandria's inhabitants, it's safe to say that two distinct lands have indeed become one. What's more, having met Namika, there is no denying the divergence in the passage of time. Taken together, these phenomena strongly suggest that some manner of cross-rift displacement has occurred. Specifically, the displacement of Alexandria from another reflection to the source.
It does seem the most likely explanation.
What perplexes me, however, is the scale of said displacement. It far exceeds what could conceivably be achieved with a Void Gate, or even with the Crystal Tower. In essence, we are dealing with a localized instance of dimensional compression. The Ascians would no doubt liken it to a rejoining. Which invites the question, how was such a feat accomplished?
I wish that I had an answer for you, but this talk of reflections and dimensions is well beyond my understanding. I can only tell you that we lived peacefully under the barrier's protection for many, many years, until the day that peace was suddenly broken.
If I may clarify, the barrier predates Alexandria's displacement.
By several hundred years, yes. To when the continent we call home was ravaged by a devastating cataclysm. The barrier was erected to isolate us from the surrounding land's innocuous influence.
Of
I see.
course.
And it was only later that it was whisked away, along with its contents, by means unknown.
In other words, Sphinx as lost as the rest of us, right? The Alexandrians didn't mean to end up in Tural.
But of course, our next stop ought to be Everton.
You didn't want to answer
tower
that.
over yonder.
You didn't want to lie.
Once you have been registered as my guests, you will have access to Solution 9 and its residential district, where you will doubtless gain invaluable insight into Alexandria's state of affairs. Unfortunately, I cannot take you directly to where Zoraljar resides.
That you'd let us in it all goes a long way toward proving you're not content to let Zoralja do as he pleases. But we're not talking about a simple difference of opinion here. I've come to avenge my father. And to do so, I intend to take Zoralja's life. Are you willing to stand by and allow Alexandria's king to be slain?
A fair question. Permit me to answer it thus. My people come first. Their welfare is paramount. I will do everything in my power to keep them from harm. It is a ruler's duty. Now, I am off to register you at Everkeep. It may take some time, but you shall find the entrance open to you in due course. Oh, and ere I forget, your mother, Kafkiwa, you might try the Thunder Yards to the east.
The Thunder Yards? Is that where she is?
I'm afraid I can say no more than that. Make for the Thunder Yards, and all will be made clear.
Again, ominous.
It's not as if we have other pressing business. Not until we can get into this Everkeep, anyway. Thank you for earlier. And for being a friend to Namika these past 30 years. It means a lot to me.
Namika? I'm sorry, but I don't know who you mean.
They erased memories. And they erased memories of the dead.
What? We were just with her. If this is some sort of a joke, it isn't funny.
I don't mean to give offense, but I honestly have no idea who you are talking about. I'm sorry.
How can you not know who she is? You're in charge here. She was under your care.
Then in all likelihood, my memories of her have been stored in the cloud. Any person seemingly forgotten without reason is probably there, in the cloud. Oh, I really must be getting back to work. If you'll excuse me.
It's not the way that should be set up, but in my opinion. What's going on? How could Viponi suddenly forget about Namika? It's as if he never knew her. The same thing have happened to others as well, I wonder? So one way to find out. Let's make inquiries about Namika in the area. We can reconvene afterwards at the 8th rate. I'd say that's all too likely. An old woman named Namika? If I don't know that person, I'm sorry I couldn't be of help. I do recall caring for someone until recently, and you say that it was a woman named Namika? Well, I can't say for certain it was her. I wouldn't worry, I'm sure she's just being taken up to the cloud. Dangerous way to use this technology. What's that? Do I know Namika? Never met anyone by that name, and I've worked at the outskirts for a good while now. If she'd spent time here, I would remember. Now, a single person remembers Namika as if of her memory has been purged from their minds. While such a thing might be done with magic, to alter the memories of so many at once would be a tremendous undertaking. We had a photo search of ether corresponding to the Act too, and I sensed none in that moment. Neither did I, but I did notice something else. Right before Pepuone seemingly forgot, a light in the device on his head began to blink. Could there be a connection? Someone also said something about soul cells? But who might we ask about this? If we continue making such inquiries, I expect we would only cause confusion. Indeed, if we can't readily solve the mystery about Namika, perhaps we could search for Kaklia instead. Spain said to try the Thunder Yards? Should be in this direction. Looks like we're being watched by a bot. Impossible. Hmm? Another kind of mechanical soldier. It looks dangerous. We better destroy it. Ah! Should we give chase? I think I understood our words. It might be worth asking it some questions. Aaronville, are you alright? You look like you've seen a ghost. It's nothing. I'm fine. Well, it went off in that direction we're headed anyway, so let's try to track it down. Oh. I don't feel like I'm making a lot of progress here tonight in getting through the MSQ. You found it? To the northeast, and must be bound for the mines. Come on then. It could well be a trap, so let's not rush too quickly. I heard faint voices coming from inside. So it's not alone, but we're still going in, of course. This may be a trap. Be ready for a fight, everyone. I can hear them, several people up ahead. I can't make out their conversation with the echoing. Let's keep going, stay on your guard. It's an interesting looking robot.
What is this?
Aaronville!
A trap?
It really is you!
Huh?
Who?
I just had to get a look at you in the light, and I can still hardly believe my eyes. But it is you, my darling Elder.
My darling, what now?
Someone's mind's been put into a robot. And I'm guessing it's Aaronville's mother.
Oh, it's so good to see you, my fussy little bun bun. But what are you doing here? What brings you all this way? Why the long face? Aren't you happy to see me after all this time?
I'd know that laugh anywhere. Mother?
Wait. Since when was your mother a weird floating thing?
And what have we here? Say, aren't you Galoo Jaja's kitten? I knew I recognized that adorable fuzzy face. Ellen Espear was always so
No, I don't think they
when you
do.
invited him over to play. You remember me, I hope.
I can't say that I do, but you know my father?
Appearances notwithstanding, it would seem this is my mother, Kafkiwa.
I'm sorry?
Oh, but this won't do. Come in. Friends of my Ellen Espear are always welcome.
I want to get to the story of how you got to being this.
All I ask is a little forewarning, but no.
Just when I thought I was starting to get a handle on this place, how are things still getting stranger?
Good question. As far as I can tell, that is indeed my mother. I can think of few people in the world quite so spirited. But as to what's happened, we'll need to ask her. Yeah? Ambrose is conflicted by his long-fated reunion. Let's hear what she has to say. This story isn't... It's so wonderful to meet you all. And as soon as Dejian, it's been a while since I heard that name. Dare I ask the reason for your appearance? Oh, this? It's just a body that I control remotely. I use this for our operations. Oh, okay. We're members of a resistance organization. Oblivion, we call ourselves, and our goal is to thwart Zoral Ja's ambitions for conquest. As a leader, it's prudent that I remain where I can't be easily found. I see. Whimsical appearances notwithstanding, yours is a serious case, or cause. Right, you are. Though, truth be told, Oblivion was founded for an altogether different purpose. And that is? As I expect you already noticed, everything you see within this dome, the buildings, the people, the very earth beneath our feet, is a fusion of two worlds. Stopping such a fusion was Oblivion's original mission. Then does that mean you know who or what is responsible for it? I'm afraid not. This was a long time ago. And our mission statement has become more of a legend that's passed down to members. By the time we joined, our sole objective was stopping Zoralja. But we failed to do that, and now he's taking his army outside the dome. None of you wear those strange devices on your head. Does that have something to do with your work? You mean this? It's a regulator, the pinnacle of electrope technology, and that we don't wear it is indeed related to our operations. What exactly does it do? Allow me to explain. Regulators have two primary functions. The first, as the name suggests, is the regulation of the wearer's reserve of souls. Should they die, the regulator expends a soul to bring them back to life. Reserve, you mean people walk around carrying spare souls? They do. Souls are packaged in cells, and they can be used to replenish the life force that is lost due to a sudden death, such as in accidents. They do nothing for those who die of old age, though. Distribution of soul cells is based on one's work evaluation, to encourage exemplary performance when fulfilling their duties. Souls is a common resource and payment for services rendered. The void saint practice of consuming others for their aether comes to mind, and similarly I expect that the act comes with some risk. That is prevented through memory management, a process in which regulators also play a role. Memory management, then the reason everyone has forgotten Namika's existence. The regulators are constantly recording the memories of their wearers, so if they should suddenly die, the memories can be refreshed as part of the restoration process. That's how they reserve one's identity and sense of self. However, the regulators are also triggered when someone else dies. Reason being is that regulators forcibly extract memories relating to the deceased from anyone wearing one. Why would they do such a thing? It's a kindness bestowed upon the people by Everkeep's core system so that no one has to suffer the pain of loss. So this is what is meant by their memories being in the cloud. Indeed, all memories of the deceased are wiped from the minds of the people and are archived in the system. It's a frightening function of the regulators and an integral step in soul cell production. You see, when a person dies of natural causes, their soul is temporarily housed within the regulator. It's then delivered to a facility where memories are separated from the soul. The result is a fresh soul cell, free of impurities, ready for distribution and consumption. Meanwhile, the memories are stored in the core system to be remembered forever. In other words, probably actually just deleted outright. This is why people are happy here. On its surface, it's similar to the Akoi philosophy, but I see nothing noble or comforting in it. So, well, it doesn't seem so terrible to me personally. All comes down to what you're used to, I suppose. Like the barrier encasing Alexandria, the system was created to overcome the calamity that transformed the world hundreds of years ago. Amidst the mounting death toll, scientists used Electrip to devise a means to save what lives they could, so that the nation could endure. I understand the people of Alexandria did what they believed was best to save their people. I just find it hard to believe that the Trolley would also accept this way of living. It was a shock to us as well. In fact, a great many were opposed to it. Which is why the use of regulators was never compulsory. The people have always been free to go without them if they so wish. Spain didn't strike me as the sort of ruler to impose her will on others. Ah, so you've already met. She's the one who suggested we come to the Thunder Yards in the first place. She also said she wants us to stop Zeralja. Awfully kind of her to point you in my direction, to speak so candidly as well. Whatever her motives, she has given the people a choice. Live with the risk of true death or the security of the regulators. Everything that lives must someday die. That is the natural order of things. Quite right, but however you feel about them, it would be easier to understand what the regulators are capable of if you saw it for yourself. I know just the person to show you, and as luck would have it, they should be starting work right about now. Who are we going to see exactly? Come with me and you'll find out. Couldn't remember. I remember seeing a one of the Aether currents there. I was like, did I grab that? It's like, oh yes, I did. Thankfully, I did so. Everyone here? Good. It's the responsibility of Thunderyard's hunters to fell any fiends found while wandering the area. We're to meet an acquaintance of mine, Strika, one of these hunters. Cochlea, what are you doing here with so many friends? Apologies for the interruption, but I was hoping that they might observe you at work. Hunting, you mean? That's fine, I guess. Hold on, I assumed they were wearing special regulars like Queen's Fiend's crown, but they aren't wearing anything at all. It's much too dangerous to be here without one. What if they're struck by lightning or attacked by beasts? I can assure you, they're all quite capable of looking after themselves. If anything should go amiss, I will take full responsibility. Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Danger aside, there really isn't much to see. Cochlea said you're a hunter, but wouldn't it be easier for those mechanical soldiers to guard this place? It would, if not for the fact they're weak to lightning. Thunderyard being what it is, they've been ordered to steer clear. Some good they are, eh? But these facilities are vital to the upkeeping of Alexandria's infrastructure. So it falls to hunters like me to deal with any fiends. Given the danger, we're well compensated for our work. It's a perfect profession for anyone looking to build up savings. The special selection of souls for hunters isn't terrible either. I brought this lot here to see this danger you speak of, if it's not too much trouble to ask. Oh, of course, in which case I'd be ashamed to waste my efforts on just any old beast. You all can handle yourselves in a fight, right? If you cause a ruckus slaying what critters you see nearby, there's a chance you'll draw out something worthy of a demonstration. I'm not sure I understand, but I suppose we should siege slay what we can. 900,000 experience, all that. That was well worth stopping by just for that. This one will do nicely. It's fine, really. I've faced worse. Just watch. Oh no! Look out! Ah! "12 preserve. She needs healing. I think that has it covered. That was embarrassing. The bastard caught me off guard. Are you mad? Seriously, let us help. I told you not to worry. This will only take a moment. You know something? I just realized something scary. Put that device on any of the Mandervilles. just like Zoral Ja. Come on, let's get out of here. That's also a function of the regulator. I think I understand now how Zoro Zhao was able to return from the dead and defeat Papa, but I'm not sure what we saw at the end there. As soon as the regulator turned red, it was as if you were possessed. Your movements became beast-like. Don't tell me you empowered yourself with the soul of a beast. I'm reminded of the Serpentine soldier we encountered at Vanguard, who did the same. So you crushed past one of the King's elite. Such a form can only be achieved from gorging yourself on souls. We could do the same in theory, but it's incredibly dangerous. Besides, it's not as if they'd allow hunters to carry that many souls to begin with. Well, I should be getting back to work. Take care. And there you have it. Regulars can be loaded with two kinds of souls, those of people and those of beasts. The souls of people can be used to grant the user preternatural strength. The archer thing can also be used to ensure no one suffers an untimely death. And what about the souls of beasts? They work much in the same fashion, imbuing with the strength of the chosen animal. If, for example, you use the soul of a wolf, you would grow more agile and feral, as you saw with Strika. Using several of the same type at once, however, would result in physical changes. Your teeth might become fangs, your nails claws, too many and you'll become more beast than man. Changing one's forms through the souls of other beings, it becomes more and more reminiscent of Void Scent. Unlike the Void, where the cycle of death and rebirth is simply broken, souls here are forcibly taken from before they might reach the ethereal sea. Different means to achieve similar ends. A cycle to which all within the dome are bound. This is wrong. This is all wrong. It is indeed hard to accept, being so far removed from our own beliefs. Perhaps more shocking is that the technology to achieve all this was developed hundreds of years ago. Civilizations in the reflection are surprising indeed. Well, we'll have all of our thoughts on souls. For now, the important thing is we know what powers Zoral Ja has at his disposal. There's one thing to separate corporeal ether from incorporeal ether. To strip memories from the soul entirely is unprecedented technology. This is no longer only Tuliolo's concern. With this newfound power, Zoral Ja has become a real threat to the entire world. Indeed, he has to be stopped no matter the cost. Forgot to. Need to change back. Embracing oblivion. Caclea regards you with concerned curiosity. I trust you've gained an insight into the use of souls in Alexandria. It's shocking, I know. I was overwhelmed myself at first. I expect you'll need some time to digest it all. But for now, let's head back to Earth and Sky. At this rate, there's something I want to discuss with everyone. Let's take a moment before we head into the tunnel. I passed where I wanted to go. I was not paying enough attention. I'm also getting pretty tired too, so. I'm sorry for delaying us, but I have some thoughts I need to share. In both technology and values, it's plain there's a wide gulf between Tuliolo and Alexandria. And while Zeralja knows everything about us, we know hardly anything about what he's become. Indeed, we haven't even seen what lies within that enormous tower Everkeep. So here I'd like to make a proposal. That is, we work with Caclia and her people. We need to learn as much as we can about the enemy. The quickest way would be to join hands with Oblivion. We've only just met them, I know, and we shouldn't be too quick to trust, but the fact remains that they share our desire to stop Zeralja. Sphene, too, claims to be at odds with King of Resolve. May I ask why you would cooperate with Oblivion instead? I don't think we can trust Sphene. Simple, really. Their leader is Arenville's mother. Meanwhile, whatever Sphene may feel, she's ruler of this nation. There's a greater risk in working with her and less reason to take her at her word. Fair point. In knowing Zeralja, we must assume that his arrangement with Sphene has not made without some consideration. All I know is that it would be heartening to have allies in this strange realm. I think everyone would agree that any help we can get would be welcome. Hold on, there's no guarantee that it's actually my mother behind the machine. Without seeing her in the flesh, we can't rule out the possibility of a ploy. If it turns out to be a trap, we endanger not only ourselves, but everyone in Tuliolo. As you say, we have no proof that it really is her. But I make my proposal in full awareness of this. Whether we're going to war or striving for peace, we need to learn as much as we can. Otherwise, we can't help to do anything meaningful. As it stands, we know too little about this realm. We need to remedy that. We need to study this enemy, and when the time comes, strike down Zeralja for good and all. What's more, I trust you, Arenville. You've always had good raid instincts, honed from your time training under your mother. What if I'm wrong? What if Cinnamon was clouding my judgment? I mean, whereas that is a possibility. That's always the way of it with you. Yeah, pretty much. Fine. If we're selling this, then I'll say no more. And so, let's head inside and secure ourselves some new allies. Caclea, there's something I need to tell you and your people. We came here for no other reason than to strike down Zaraja. But I thought he was your brother. Do you really mean kill your own kin? My kin invaded our nation and murdered our people. As vow of resolve, it falls to me to bring him to account. I am prepared to do what I must. I won't hesitate when the time comes. Like us, you and yours oppose Zeralja. In light of this, I propose that we work together to stop him once and for all. I realize that this is sudden, that it's a gamble to trust someone you've only just met. But I would trust in the conviction of anyone who shares my goals, so fight with me, I beg you. As you say, our goals align, and I don't doubt your resolve in the least. If you hadn't proposed working together, I would have done so instead. Truth be told, it's been tough going it alone. Oh, well, we've gathered ample intelligence. We don't have the strength to take decisive action. Besides, how could we not trust you? My only son was with you, my fussy little bun. He's all the reason I need. This aside, here's a fruitful collaboration. Thank you, Caclea. Everyone, together we'll achieve great things, I'm sure of it. Thank you, everyone. Then let's not waste any time. We've been wondering about Zeralja's whereabouts. Is there a palace inside that tower? After a fashion, the king resides in the uppermost level, but while Queen Sphene has a penchant for going out in public, he seldom shows himself. What's more, his movements are highly classified. Not even his commanders are privy to that information. If anyone knows where he is at in any given time, it could only be the Queen. And yet we don't know where his whereabouts. Zeralja will eventually march on Tuliolo again. That's when we can go after him. The drawback is we'd have to wait for the invasion to happen. Innocents would be put in harm's way. There's also the possibility that he'll leave everything to his minions and not command the army in person. I doubt that, not considering his personality. No, he'll take the field. What makes you so certain? My brother has always yearned to surpass our father. That's why he attacked Tulialo. After waiting for 30 years, the first thing he wanted to do was demonstrate his newfound strength. But killing Papa didn't satisfy him, so now he's bent on proving himself stronger than me and Koona, who bested him in the right of succession. He challenged me to strike him down. He wants a duel to show everyone that he's superior to the Dawn Servant, and he won't let his minions deprive him of the pleasure. Then why hasn't he appeared and given you the chance? Surely he's aware of our presence here. At that I can only guess. Perhaps he wants to dazzle us with his wondrous realm, but if he won't deign to appear, then we'll force him to do so. Even as we gather intelligence, we make no move to attack him, show absolutely no interest in a confrontation. Knowing him, he'll tire of waiting and turn his attention to Koona instead. He'll attack Tulialo again like he said he would. I see. If you believe this is the best approach, then we have no objections. Any campaign against Tuliolo requires that Zeralja lead his forces through Vanguard. We'll have lookouts keeping an eye on it day and night. Such a strategy is certainly viable. For proceeding with it, though, we should warn those outside. Indeed, they'll need time to prepare their defenses. I should be able to coordinate our efforts. I'm already in regular contact with Ishtola, and we'll make sure to keep our comrades apprised of developments. You leave Vanguard to us. We'll send word at the first sign of movement. Seems we have a plan. While we wait for Zeralja to move, you'll do well to prepare for battle. And it begins with familiarizing yourselves with the technology that empowers him. To that end, I'll show you to Oblivion's main headquarters. Oh, I thought this place was it. You'll be impressed to know that we're located right inside that tower in the residential district of Solution 9. Hiding a tree in the forest, as it were. The only question is how to get you through that checkpoint. Ah, about that. Speen said she would make it so we could enter without issue. She did. Curious. She's not supposed to have such authority over the sentries. Her words were that she would register us as guests. I see. Perhaps we're in the clear then. When you're ready, come and meet me at the tower entrance. Before you head out, give us a moment to introduce ourselves properly, eh? After all, names are good to know when working together. Well, Oblivion has operatives all over. We're the main crew here. I'm Geo, the leader of this hideout. And the dependable young twins behind me are Nostalgia and Wawaki. I'm Nostalgia. It's a pleasure to meet you. My sister and I were born and raised inside the barrier. We've been with Oblivion for 3 years. Our main duties are surveillance and provisioning. Twins, eh? That explains the resemblance. Wawaki is a Tonawatan name, unless I'm mistaken. That's right. Our mother is Tuliolan and our father is Alexandrian. They wanted to honor both cultures. They are beautiful names. Thank you. Though I have no memories of my mother, I like to think I carry a part of her with me. So what made you decide to join Oblivion? We wanted to avenge our father. Ambrose was his name, and years ago he was taken away after a scuffle with a soldier over a disagreement. It was a minor incident, so at first we clung to the hope that he'd be released, but then when months went by with no word from him or about him, we made the decision to remove our regulators. We had already lost memory of our mothers. We didn't want to lose those of our father as well. They've all forgotten about him now, everyone who had known him. That bastard! Even here, he thinks nothing of his own people. Sometime later, we were approached by a member of Oblivion hoping to get justice for our father. We joined the Order. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to darken the mood. No, I appreciate you sharing this. Together we'll avenge your father. Thank you. Something tells me you have what it takes. You introduce yourself too. Go on. It's pretty much the same story for me, and while mine is a Tonawatan name, I haven't the faintest how things are outside the barrier. It's my dream to go and see it with my own eyes. Our mother's homeland. Once peace is restored, you must come and visit. The wilds are beautiful, the food delicious, and everyone's so nice. You'll love it. And that's us here. You'll meet others in the back room. That's our headquarters. Some of them are a little eccentric, but they have good hearts all. Elena Shipya, one last thing. It isn't exactly my place to say this, but thank you for seeking out Kaklia. She talks about you so much. It's clear how important you are to her. That's all. Be good to your mother while you still can, eh? She's dying, isn't she? Well, we'll let you go now. Feel free to use this hideout as you like.
You've been consulting with Wook Lamont. No matter. I do not know what you are scheming. But when your realm lay on the brink, you were powerless. You had no choice but to turn to me. Whatever sentiment you may feel for her, it is my power you require. Is it not?
Perhaps. And yet, knowing the love that Wook Lamont bears for her people, how she regards them all as kin, I cannot help but wish to spare her the same pain I have suffered. What's more, her friends possess new knowledge. Were we to work together, we might find another path. I know you're loath to consider it, but is there no hope for peace with Tuliolo?
Not in his
what
eyes.
you've already done may be unforgivable, but it needn't continue. You needn't kill your brother and sister.
I slew my only flesh and blood. Yet you attempt to sway me with an appeal to family. The memory of my father's final moments still fills me with disappointment. Age came for him before I did. For long years, I sought to prove the miracle. And weak as he was, defeating him achieved nothing. To kill them is my only recourse. Wook Lamont and Kona, who bested him as he was in his prime.
They are still your siblings, even if not by blood. That such bonds should mean so little to you.
I am bound to no one. Serve none save myself. I made that clear when first you spoke to me in the Golden City. Remember, I can easily kill your beloved family. If you would protect them, cast aside any foolish notions. Your wisdom and abilities are valuable insofar as our goals align. So think well before you act, Queen of Reason. Wook Lamont, if you are father's worthy successor, then you will find your way to me. But should you fall short, I will lay waste to Tuli Yolal.
What now?
Okay. That's actually where we are going to stop for tonight. And we'll go ahead and end, and we'll be back later with more of something. Till then, though, have a wonderful rest of your day.